It's time for you to get social. So today we're going to talk about social media marketing, not in a fun way, because this is a conversation that most people don't like to have, but it is the most important part of your social media, and that is your strategy. If you're posting without a strategy, what you're doing is you're just throwing stuff at the internet and hoping it works. That means inconsistent content. That means inconsistent messaging. And worst of all, it means inconsistent results. The way I am able to get leads from social media, get sales from social media, get referrals from social media, the way I'm able to do all of those things is because I have a really well-planned strategy that gets full transparency, gets reevaluated and adjusted depending on what's happening. But it is a larger strategy that helps me promote my brand and my business using social media because I know exactly what's going out and when. Let's talk about the 3 pieces you need to have a social media strategy, because it's really not as grandiose as it sounds. When you talk about strategy, you think it's going to take me forever to get together. It's going to take me a ton of money to execute on, and that's not true. It really comes down to 3 simple pieces. Piece number 1 is knowing who you're talking to. Now, if you've ever heard me talk about anything ever before, you've heard me talk about ideal clients and how absolutely critical they are. Well, that's especially true with your social media, because if you don't know who you're talking to or who you want to talk to, you're not going to be able to get any sort of message to them. Worse yet, you're not going to know how they will best receive a message. And that comes down to as simple as like knowing where to post, what networks to be a part of. If you don't know who your ideal client is, you're never going to figure that out. Number 2, you need to know what they want. This is going to be a big part of knowing what services and products you offer, what solutions you provide. You're going to need to know what their problems are. From there, that will impact your social media strategy because it will tell you exactly what kind of content to produce. So now we know who we're talking to. Now we have to figure out what that message is. This will impact not only the content we create, but the content you provide from other people. So a big part of my strategy is other people's content, and that's something I encourage with all of my clients, and we talk a lot about in Social Pro. But to know what content to share from other people, you have to know what content is going to serve that ideal client. That again is going to impact your decision on where you're posting, because if you want to post a ton of video content, Twitter is not the best game in town. YouTube is a much better option, and then from there you can disseminate it in other places. Or Facebook, you can post video there. But those are going to be more impactful in certain networks, okay? The third most important piece is to know your own schedule, because that's going to impact your ability to provide consistent content. It's also going to impact your ability to schedule content. I go in once a week and I schedule what I call a social media foundation. That's the promoted stuff, that's the content stuff, that's the stuff that can easily get scheduled and people can just engage with. I also have stuff that goes out automated through my buffer, and that's how I provide other people's content, because then on my schedule, I'm able to go read and find and look for that other content and just sort of add it to my buffer so that it goes out not all at once, but sort of shared out over time. By knowing my schedule so that I can create the time to create content that's going to go out, I can create the time in my schedule to add to that buffer, but I can also create time in my schedule to go in and engage. I want to make sure that I'm going in live into Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Google Plus communities, Twitter chats, all of those things, Hangouts. I want to make sure that I'm going into those places ready to engage and ready to connect, because I have made the time to do that in my schedule. The same is true on my pages or with my Twitter profile. I know I have time in my schedule to go in and connect with people, talk to people, and have conversations, because conversations are what lead to the conversions. Very rarely will someone stumble upon your Facebook page and go, oh, this person is so awesome, let me buy all the things. More often than not, they'll like your page, start having conversations with you, and then they'll want to buy all the things. That's the most important part of social media, is the strategy, and those are the 3 pieces you need to have in your strategy. You need to know who you're talking to, you need to know what content you're providing, and you need to figure out your schedule so that you can set up all of those pieces of your schedule to make that stuff work for you. That's all we've got for today. If you like this video, be sure to like this video, and of course subscribe so you don't miss any more of Hit the Mic TV. For me, being in a mastermind was a huge part of 2014, being incredibly growth and change and impact filled. So I really encourage you in 2015 to make the same step. Invest in yourself, invest in your business,